Coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, you are watching Kings of Country Rap. I'm Richard Danis. Hey guys, you want to light up the bed of your truck with some bad boy LEDs? Please check out the link below in the description box. Well, today history was made and history has been changed. America is being circumcised. Video sharing platform YouTube is now the second most popular website as of August 2019, according to the Alexa Internet. According to the company's press page, YouTube has more than 1 billion users, and each day, those users watch more than 1 billion hours of video. Censorship of it has occurred and continues to occur varying degrees in most countries throughout the world. So the big question is, from one of our listeners today asked us if we were going to do a show on this, and we actually were in the process of doing so. Will YouTube actually take down all of the videos that feature or show the Confederate flag? Now, folks, this is not a political show. Why are we doing this video? The reason why we're doing this video today is because so many Southern rappers, country rappers, have used the Confederate flag in their videos. And it is a question to ask yourself. Is this going to now change the hip-hop world, the country hip-hop world? Well, I'm going to answer this question and give my opinion right after you watch this, because it's interesting. What you're going to hear right now is a candid interview with by SCV Tennessee Division Commander Mike Beck with HK Edgerton regarding the true South and the historical perspective of how life truly was in the Southland as opposed to the lies and propaganda we have been fed for many generations. Will YouTube remove the Confederate flag in any videos that feature the Confederate flag? My opinion coming up right after this.
As you know, I'm a former president of the NAACP in the city of Asheville, North Carolina. And after having an illegal election run on me, my good friend Kurt D. Lyons said to me, HK, if you want to do some real civil rights fighting, your whole civil rights life will come full circle if you come out and join our organization, which is the Southern Legal Resource Center. And we are a nonprofit civil rights law firm that fights heritage violations against the Christian Cross of St. Andrew. And after I read some of the letters from my babies on how they were losing their First Amendment rights at the schoolhouse and how people were using implied immunity to stop them from wearing their little Dixie Outfitter t-shirts and anything that depicted the flag, they were told to turn their shirts inside out. Many of them couldn't use the word Confederacy. And a lot of them crying out to help from the Southern Legal Resource Center. And surprisingly for me, a great deal of those babies that were crying out for help were black babies. Young black girl chose me as the person that she wanted to do a Black History report on. And God bless her school and her teachers who've invited me to Louisiana, and I hope I get the opportunity to go. And one of the things that this baby said to me was, you know, something's not right about this. Right down the street here, my grandmama's best friend has got a big, huge flagpole with the Confederate flag flying. And Mr. Edson, I've been reading about you, and I'm so sorry that when you came through here, I didn't get the chance to march with you, but I'd missed a certain amount of days in school and had to. And she talked about all her friends and all her black friends. These children want to know because they see something that's not quite right. It's not quite like these people keep saying that it is. And I, you know, I'm so very glad that I had the opportunity to influence a great deal of them. Of course, many of my babies get in trouble because of the fact they say, well, Mr. Edgerton's carrying the flag. So I have a great deal of faith in the South. I have a great deal of faith in our young generation, even though we say that they don't say yes, sir, no, ma'am, and they've not taught to say the Lord's Prayer. But I'm gonna tell you something, there's a resolve in Southern people, young and old, that will come a day that worm will turn and the truth will be known here in the Southland of America about what happened. King Galilei, an African king who told James Wilmot, an agent of the King of England, that if a white man came round there to Africa to buy slaves, he was gonna sell them. If he didn't sell them, he was gonna kill them. And to go back and tell the king that no amount of money he could send him would induce him to end that slave trade. All you have to do is just say the word slavery, And it's been a situation where Christian white folks in the South have held their heads down because the whole institution of slavery has been blamed solely on Christian white folks in the South, and the whole world acted as though it didn't participate, and the whole world did participate, and especially those Africans. And now children want to know real answers. They want to know why you sit and call their grandfathers all these demonic and evil. They want to know these things. And the other thing that they see certain things happening with each other, because you know, black folks and white folks in the Southland of America, we've been family in lieu of slavery for a long time. And I think one of the very reasons why those men chose this flag, even though most of the Southerners felt like that the Yankees should have been the ones who came up with another flag, another battle flag, because they had a great deal of ownership in the United States flag, just for the war of succession against England. But when they chose this flag, they chose the flag because of its history. I mean, this flag has been used to fight tyranny for a long time. In Vietnam, many times when young black men found themselves in a firefight and lost from the troops and didn't know where they were going, when they saw that flag flying, they knew that there was some Christian Southern black boys or white boys down there, and they knew that they were going to be all right. The Korean conflict, the United States flag could not be flown. They wouldn't allow it. But my God, the Christian cross of St. Andrew was flown proudly over American troops. And people don't even know about these things. The first thing they want to do is just holler slavery and end all debate. What people don't understand, see what has happened to us as Southerners for so long, we've been dumbed down, even since Reconstruction, with the advent of the building of the Freedmen's Bureau in 1865, certainly the North knew that it had to come down here and propagandize the South. So it sent its teachers here, it dumbed our children down. They did everything they could do to divide and separate black folks and white folks in the Southland of America. You spend 150 years trying to wonder, why are we going through all these problems? Why all this hatred? Why things haven't happened? I heard somebody mention the Honorable R.L. Dabney from Prince Edward County, Virginia today. You know, Reverend Dabney sent a letter to General Howard at the Freedom Bureau in 1865 and told him, like a prophet, don't do these black folks bad. Don't take them around to your prisons and stuff. Maybe we haven't done a good by them by the South. That's what y'all claim. Now you have all the money, all the resources, do good by our black family members. And what did they do? 150 years we've lived in depression, bad rule, because you know, I don't know why some black folks think the northern folks have this great love for them. Those northern folks know history. They know about all those black folks who ran with white folks around here and fought and died and sniped and killed Yankees. They don't have no love. There's no love for them around here. Here's the thing about it for me, the terrible irony of this thing is this. If the North did anything, any victory, see, because for me, the victory didn't come with Marsh Lee over there at Appomattox Courthouse for those folks. It did not come. Because they knew that in the hearts of Southern people, even though you might have won the battle on the field because you outnumbered us, you had repeater rifles, you had soldiers of fortune you were bringing in from all over the place, in the hearts and minds of us, that thing still was there, the love for the Southland of America. So the only way, basically, that we could do this thing is to dumb down the people and grab black folks and divide and separate them down in the South. We can't have those black folks around there voting with their Southern white family. What was the sense of going to war if we did that? So, and orchestrated, and this was very programmed. People think this is a mistake, or it's just something accidentally happened. This is an ongoing Cold War that was instituted by these folks from the North to divide and separate us. Most of these black babies, all of these black babies, they talk about Black History Month. How are you going to separate Confederate history and Southern history from black folks? But they don't talk about Levi Carnine, Reverend Mac Lee, Holt Collier, John Edgerton. They don't talk about these folks because, I mean, these are black heroes who fought very bravely. Reverend Mac Lee said, the bodyguard to the Honorable General Robert E. Lee, who built more churches in the North and Southland of America than any other minister that I know of, he told his people, after he'd educated himself with the money that General Lee had given him, keep your faith in God, buy you some land, get yourself educated, and beyond all else, put your faith and trust in the white man in the South, no other, because he knew what was in the hearts and minds of Southern people. There's a love that exists in the Southland of America between black folks and white folks. It's hard to explain to folks It's a whole lot different. The biggest tragedy of all, the whole world wants to associate the Ku Klux Klan or any hate organization with my flag. These folks talked about Nathan Bedford Forrest. Well, if it don't be for Nathan Bedford Forrest and that original Ku Klux Klan, I'm not talking about what happened after Nathan Bedford Forrest, many of us Southerners, red, yellow, black, and white, would be just like the dinosaur around here in the Southland of America, extinct. And people don't understand that. They just say Ku Klux Klan, and all of a sudden they gather these images of my flag and white men standing around beating and hanging and whipping black folks. Wrong, wrong, wrong. What about old man Pooley right around there in Alabama who joined the Ku Klux Klan because his family wanted to vote in the election and wanted to vote in the Democratic Party, and Thaddeus Stevens and his boys come down here and terrorized them in the fields and beat them. And many times he went to Ku Klux Klan. Thaddeus Stevens and his boys found out how successful that the Klan was at defending Southern folks, red, yellow, black, and white. So what did they do? They started sending their boys down here and dressing up like the Klan and committed terror in the South. And then all of a sudden, you know, Nathan Bedford Forrest understood this thing. He told his men, let's just come home. Let's go home and forget about this thing. Out of all his black men that rode with him, he said, every single one of my black men are as good as any soldier that rides with me. And I'll tell you something. From all the accounts of what you do find, there was not a single man that rode with Nathan Bedford Forrest who looked like me that wouldn't have given his life for Nathan Bedford Forrest. Napoleon Windrush. Here's a man that was captured with 7 horses, and the Yankees took him and exchanged him for 4 or 5 other white men. You know, what person would do that? No way. There were many black men who wouldn't even take the loyalty oath. Trained cadre of black folks on plantations all across the Southland of America, made all the implements of war, stayed at home, provided all the foodstuffs. Many went off to fight in the war gloriously. In the 77 cities that I marched through when I walked to Texas, there was not one town that somebody did not come with a black Confederate hero. I'm not just talking about ordinary folks, I'm talking about heroes. People say slavery and it just ends right there, but you know, it's the biggest trick that ever happened. While slavery, by some white men in the South, and I've heard it, I even heard some very rare recordings that Dr. Southpaw Freeman did, especially one Confederate soldier who said that slavery was a curse on the white people in the South. While slavery might have been a curse on the white folks in the South, it was a blessing for many of us who wear this color. Now some folks will say, well, Uncle Tom, what you talking about? But let me tell you something. When my great-great-grandmama Hattie Edgerton stood on those shores in 1788 on her way to the Honorable T.R. Edgerton family in Rutherford County, North Carolina, I'm so glad she didn't get left behind. Those Africans didn't like us then, they don't like us now. The only people that ever showed any love for us is those same white folks in those cotton fields and cornfields that we live side by side and call ourselves family. And I'm not here defending the institution of slavery, because slavery was bad when Jesus Christ walked the earth. It's part of man's inhumanity to man. It crosses all colors, all religions. But you know, there's something happening here in the South. People think that because they have attacked us and tried basically to commit cultural genocide toward us, telling our babies they can't use the word Confederacy. You know, there's a resolve. We always talk about how we think these babies are losing their manners and they're losing their southernness, but I'm gonna tell you something. There's a resolve in those children, much like their grandfathers that we see buried around here. They want to know, and now they have these things called computers. These babies start plugging in these things, and these teachers can't get away with that stuff they used to get away with about, you know, our ancestors were demonic, slavery. When these children get the truth, they're going to demand that whoever's sitting at White House get right on up and go right on down to the Treasury and return some of that stealing that took place around here. I'll tell you about that. And not only are they going to demand that they bring back some of the stealing that took place around here in the Southland of America, these babies are going to demand that somebody that walks down there to that education department, that the United States Department of Education, that they tell the real truth and restore the honor of our Southern family down here. We can't embrace our heritage, our ancestry, because the bottom line is this here. Yankees don't want you to know the truth. If you know the truth, you got to pay back all that stealing. A lot of folks got to pack the bags. You got to give back all the honor that you took from black folks and white folks around here in the Southland of America. I am so very, very proud of my heritage and my ancestry. God, in his infinite wisdom, could have sent my grandmama someplace else as a slave. But he sent her to the greatest country. He sent her to the Southland of America. And I so am so very glad for that. If it hadn't have been for the skills that white folks taught black folks around here, that so-called freedom that we got with the second 13th Amendment, when they just set folks loose and said, now you're free. Free to go where, to do what? If it hadn't have been for that white master who said, come in here, sit down, John. They burned out all our property, our money is no good, all the animals are gone. But we family, let's work together to make this thing survive and work again. And they did, and they did.
So I did tell you that at the end of this video, I would give you my opinion. Yes, I do believe YouTube will be removing all videos with the Confederate flag. Hey guys, you want to light up the bed of your truck with some bad boy LEDs? Please check out the link below in the description box.
This is Pookie D. Thank you for joining us on the Upchurch Fan Channel. Kings of Country Rap is a Richard Christian Janus production.